So what's the best late fall fertilizer for your lawn? You have your three numbers, your N, P and K on the bag, but what will each of them do for your lawn and how much of them do you need? So if you're a new homeowner with a brand new lawn to take care of, or if you're just getting into lawn care, this can be quite confusing, especially if you're like me. I mean, I saw my neighbors spreading stuff now and then. When I moved into this house, I had no idea what it was. So I went to the closest store, asked them what to buy, and pretty much all they talked about was nitrogen. I bought the bags with the most nitrogen in it. I really didn't have any idea what the P and the K actually did for the lawn. I just assumed they do other stuff, I don't know. They said nitrogen is the most important part. And then things got even more confusing when they said before winter you need different kind of fertilizer. That's special fertilizer just for your fall application. So that's what we're going to talk about today, late fall fertilizer application. Hey everyone, it's Sam, your average Joe lawn nut. So it's time to do some late fall fertilization. And a lot of people might skip this application because I mean, it's getting cold, the grass isn't really growing anymore. So what the hell is the point, right? And that's exactly how I thought just a couple of years ago. I mean, the grass isn't growing, it's cold as hell soon. So why am I putting down some fertilizer now? I mean, what the hell is it gonna do for my lawn? Everything is cold, it's not even growing anymore. Well, it turns out this is one of the more important applications you do during the year. So this application of fertilizer will actually set the tone for your lawn come spring. So if you really think about it, the next season actually starts right now with this late fall application of fertilizer. Also, this might determine how well your lawn does this winter with fighting off disease, snow mold, injuries. So it's quite an important application, I would say. And for those of you who actually seen my other videos, you know I don't like to calculate stuff. I usually don't. But today I thought I might actually calculate how much I need to put down. So we'll give math a go today. So let's start off by going through what the NPK on the bag actually stands for and what it does for your grass. All right, so the N stands for nitrogen, and that's for upward growth. So that's for the grass blades. So usually you add nitrogen to push growth and make your lawn a bit thicker. So that's upward growth. So the P stands for phosphorus, and that's for downward growth. That will benefit the roots of your grass. So in Sweden, we're kind of careful when it comes to phosphorus since it can cause some major environmental issues. So it will push algae growth in waterways and kind of throw off the balance of the ecosystem. So in Sweden, in general, our fertilizers don't have that much phosphorus. And lastly, we have the K, which stands for potassium. And the potassium is for the insides of the grass. So that's for cellular function. It will help it absorb other nutrients better and also make it more tolerant to stress, drought, or cold. Alright, so if you're enjoying this video so far and finding some value in it, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. So usually when you're applying fertilizer during your growing season, so for cool season grasses that's spring to fall, you want a good high nitrogen number. That's the period you actually want your grass growing pretty good because that will help your grass handle foot traffic better. It will help it outgrow and outcompete some weeds you might have. And it might also help get rid of some fungus issues you might have. I had some red thread issue. So in Sweden we don't use fungicide that much. So the best way for me to get rid of fungus is to actually push nitrogen and grow and mow it out. And as I said, this applies to cool season grasses. For warm season grasses like Bermuda or Zoysia, your growing season starts late spring and summer. So that's usually when you do your applications. All right, so for cool season grasses, there's two periods you want to avoid pushing too much nitrogen on your lawn, and that's late fall and summer. I'll come back to the late fall one because I know there's debate regarding late fall applications of nitrogen. But with regards to summer, or when it's the hottest outside, that's usually when the cool season grass actually goes dormant, try to protect itself and protect the crown. So it will kind of go dormant and store all the energy and wait for better circumstances and wait for some cooler temperature. All right, so let's go back to what I said about not pushing too much nitrogen in late fall. So there's actually two routes you can take when it comes to nitrogen in the fall. Some like to add more nitrogen during the late fall application because that would actually be stored in the grass and benefit the grass come spring. But in Sweden, we tend not to do that. Most of our late fall fertilizers barely contain any nitrogen at all. They usually contain some nitrogen, but not a lot, maybe 5% or 6% or something like that. But I know in the US there are a lot of fertilizers, or winterizers as they call them, which actually contain a lot of nitrogen for kind of before winter application. And I mean, I don't think there's a wrong option here. My take on it is if you've kept up your fertilization during the year. If you've given your grass what it needs, nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, then my personal take on it is you won't need to push as much nitrogen when you do your fall application, because you will have some nitrogen left over stored in the grass for spring. But I mean, if you haven't fertilized during the year, you've maybe done one application or two applications, then yes, then I might add some more nitrogen during my late fall application, because the grass might not have enough stored for spring. So then I would add more nitrogen. So I don't really know if there's a right or wrong answer here. I'm just telling you what we normally do in Sweden. I don't think I've ever seen a single fertilizer brand in Sweden where they actually say this is a fall application and it contains a lot of nitrogen. It's just not common here. And when it comes to how much nitrogen you should put down before winter, I have no idea, since I mean, we don't usually do that. But if you actually want to push nitrogen during winter and you want to know, then I'll put a link to Alan Hain, the lawn care nuts video up here. All right, so in that video, Alan will show you exactly how much nitrogen you need to put down and when to apply it. And it goes for both warm and cool season grasses. All right, so for me, I thought I might just continue with my normal late fall application of fertilizer. I usually use this one called Floravit, and it says höst. So höst means fall in Swedish. When are you guys gonna start using letters with dots on them? They look so much cooler. So I thought I might stick with just this one for this fall again. Then again, when this debate came up, I thought, well, I have some fertilizer with a lot of nitrogen in it, so I will actually use both of them. I will use this one on my backyard, and then I will use the one with a lot of nitrogen on my side strip and see what the difference is. I'm not sure if we'll see any difference, but I thought it might be interesting to actually try them both out, because I'm actually a member of a lot of Facebook forums for grass nerds in Sweden. So I've actually never heard of anyone pushing nitrogen during their fall applications. So I thought, well, I'll give it a go and see what kind of results I get. So I will be using my normal fertilizer for late fall, which has basically no nitrogen. It only has about 5%. And then I will be using my normal fertilizer, which has 23% nitrogen in it, on the side strip, and we'll see if we have any difference. Unfortunately, you have to wait until spring to see that, but after that, hopefully we can see any results, if we have any difference at all. Also, this one has about 6% iron in it, and iron is also very good to apply before winter, because iron will also help the grass and make it more resistant to disease and cold, and it will also make it greener, so it will stay green until pretty much the snow comes. So if you put your late fall application of fertilizer on it, your lawn would look a lot better than the neighbors, especially if you add some iron to it. So if you want to beat the neighbors, do some late fall application of fertilizer. And remember, don't tell them about this video, because otherwise they'll just do it as well. Then there's no point. All right, so now it's time for the part I'm not looking forward to, and it's actually just calculating how much stuff I actually need to put on the lawn. As I said, math is not my thing, but I mean, I want to be as cool as the other lawn care YouTubers, where they actually calculate exactly how much of everything they need. So I want to be as cool as them. So today I'm actually going to calculate some stuff. So let's do some math. Alright, so I'm done with calculating. Math is still not my thing. I don't like it at all. I'm gonna do what I normally do. And on the bag it says 3 kilograms per 100 square meters. So that's about 6.5 pounds per 1,000 square feet. So I mean, I'll just use that amount. I'll do a soil test in the spring anyways. The result of the soil test will tell me what I'm lacking or what I have too much of. So I will just adjust accordingly after I've done the soil test. And I mean, that's kind of the point of my channel with Average Joe Gardening. I just want to show you that you don't need to get that technical about everything. You don't need lab precision calculating stuff just to get a decent lawn. I think my lawn looks pretty good. I mean, it's not golf course quality, but that's not what I'm aiming for. I just want a decent lawn. I mean, it's still one of the best looking lawns in the neighborhood, and I've never calculated anything when it comes to overseeding or fertilization. Because I remember when getting into this, I watched a lot of YouTube videos. People are calculating exactly how much nitrogen they need, how much potassium they need. And that kind of threw me off a bit because I don't want to do that. So I mean, it's up to you. Choose your level. If you want a golf course lawn and you want everything to be exactly right amount, go ahead, do the math. If you think that's fun, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just trying to show you that you can do it this way as well and get a decent lawn and good results. All right, so for the side of my house, I'm just going to use this high nitrogen fertilizer. So I'm just gonna put that out on the side here, and then we'll go ahead and put the normal late fall fertilizer in the backyard. All right, so I'm gonna use my handheld spreader to spread this fertilizer. I don't know about the settings. I just used the first one and worked my way from there until it kind of spreads evenly. All right, so I did the side, and now it's time to take my normal fall fertilizer and put on my backyard. And remember, this one has iron in it, 6%, so this will stain concrete or anything like that. So I'm gonna be careful around the edges around the patio because I don't want it to stain. So let's get this on here. All right, that's it. I'm done with the application. Normal fall application of fertilizer in the backyard with iron. So I'm assuming this part will actually be greener, but I mean, I just want to see the difference anyways. And then on the side of my house and in the front, I use the high nitrogen fertilizer, and I'm pretty sure both will be fine. I just want to see if there will be any difference. And I've actually kept up with all my fertilization during the year, so it should have enough nitrogen to last until spring to store it in the roots. But we'll see. We'll see if we have any difference. High nitrogen, no nitrogen, or 5% at least. Also, don't forget to water this in. You might have a lot of dew during morning or something like that, then it might be fine, but I still like to water it in. It looks like it's gonna rain any second now, so I mean, I'll just wait for the rain here. But just as a reminder, don't forget to water it in. All right, so if you have any questions, please make sure to drop them in the comments below. I always love to help anyone out. I don't always have the answers, but that's one of the things I love about the lawn care community. People are so helpful and knowledgeable, so if I don't know the answer, just drop it in the comments below and I'm sure someone else will answer it. So I'm not one of those persons that will give you an answer no matter if I know the right answer or not, then I will tell you I don't know. But as I said, the lawn care community is great, so other people will jump in and help. So please make sure you drop in the comments below if you have any questions. Also, tell me in the comments which way you would prefer, low nitrogen or high nitrogen for late fall applications. I'm actually interested to see how many of you use nitrogen or how many of you don't use nitrogen. As I said, it's completely new for me to use nitrogen. I'm excited to see the results of this. All right, so that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it and found some value in it, please make sure you do all the YouTube stuff, like, share, subscribe, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.